Grapplers. This type of playstyle, or should I say lifestyle, is one of my favorite type of characters in gaming. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the history, what grapplers are, and lastly, most importantly, what it means and how it feels to be a grappler. To start off this wonderful video, we will briefly talk about the real-life history of grappling. So, I can understand if you want to skip this scene because it doesn't have any buzzwords or key jiggly fighting game clips, but for the real grapplers that I actually care about for the love of the game, I appreciate you staying. I know you're just like me. According to historians, the earliest known records of grappling as far back as 3400 BC, which, as you know, is basically the time of the dinosaurs. More specifically, they were on the tombs of these two people. Do not ask me to pronounce these. I'm a very white man. Grappling would not just stay in these Egyptian tombs, however, but also would be showcased majorly in the Greek Olympic Games in 704 BC, where it was actually originally called pankration and had the rules of, I quote, doing anything to incapacitate your opponent. And the Greeks thought this was literally the coolest thing ever, as says the goated professor Paul Christine. This means that if it was possible, Potemkin could spam Garuda Impact and it'd be illegal. Other historians would say that some legends of the sport killed lions with nothing but their bare hands. So when you think about it, Baki is actually a very realistic manga, and there's nothing wrong with it. Jealous, the zoners would try in a vain attempt to look cool by putting their own sport, shooting or archery, in the Olympics. But after that, later down the line history, grappling would become very influential in both Indian and Japanese culture. Now, let's talk about the history of grapplers in fighting games and how it started from one simple man who inspired the character. May I please, ladies and gentlemen, get a drum roll for the one, the handsome, Viktor Zangief. This one great man was a Russian freestyle wrestler born in 1962 in Kazakh SSR, Soviet Union. Funny enough, really only wrestled and got famous in Japan until he retired in 1990. And as writing the script, this goat is still alive, so thank you, Victor. We appreciate what you do to this community. But Victor, during his career, would participate in the IWGP Heavyweight Champion in the Tokyo Dome, in which he defeated Buzz Sawyer in the quarterfinals, but unfortunately lost to Shinya Hashimoto in the semifinals. Throughout this whole wrestling career, he won 2 first-place medals in the Junior World Championship and the Junior European Championship in 1981 and 1982, as well as the second in the World Cup in 1985. This one very great man who did really well in his career caught the eye of Kira Nishitani, and for any fighting game nerd, you probably recognize who that is, and that is the developer of Street Fighter 2. And if you ever played a single Street Fighter, you probably know who I'm about to talk about. Now, let's give it up for the second greatest man in all of history. Man, the one motion input person, Zangief. This guy here, I love this guy. Because even though grapplers would have started with probably someone else, we were gifted with just a dude. This is literally a man with just too much muscle. And he would set the standard for every other fighting games to come. And that is, we need a big guy to do big damage. And now, to go over the history of grapplers after SF2's implementation in 1991, we're going to do a lightning round of every grappler's first appearance because there is so many, and this took forever to make. In 1992, we have World Heroes Muscle Power. For fun fact, also loves the best liquid in this world, which is milk. 1993, we have Virtua Fighter with Wolf Hawkfield. Saturday Night Slam Masters with the familiar face of Hagar. Mortal Kombat 2's Kentaro, although he's a sub-boss in that game until future releases, but, you know, he's still considered a grappler in that. And also Jax Briggs also in that game. Then you got Fighters History, Masatorio, I think I'm saying that right, who looks familiar for Samson from the Bible. Super Street Fighter 2's T-Hawk. Then in 1994, we have Darkstalker's very, very thick Victor, Tekken's Glorious King, Aggressors of Dark Combat Sheen, and not Jimmy Neutron Sheen, Killer Instinct's Thunder, although he would not become a grappler until 2013 release. This is his first appearance, thus that's why he's here. Kaiser Knuckle / Global Champions Gonzalez, who funny enough, is actually from Russia, despite his name. King of Fighters 1994, Clark Still and Diamond, X-Men's Children of the Atoms, Colossus, Wolverine, and Juggernaut. In 1995, we had Double Dragons Abobo, Fighter Vipers Big Mauler, Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors, my boy and sweet summer child Gunter, Savage Rain, Max Eagle, Street Fighter Alpha Birdie. Then 1996, we have King of Fighters 1996, Vice, Dead or Alive, Bass and Tina, Art of Fighting 3 with Kasumi Toda, Breakers Condor, King of Fighters 96, Wolfgang Krauser, Ninja Masters Uzun, Red Earth / Warzo's Leo, and then 1997, Rival School Games Isugi, King of Fighters 1997, Shermie and Oshario, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Meg Zangief, because he was so good they needed to make a robot version of him. Street Fighter 3's New Generations, Alex, Street Fighter 3, Second Impact Hugo, I hope they add him to Street Fighter 6 eventually. 1998, Daraka Tenshin, The Fallen Angels, Harry Ness, and Urian. God Bless the Ring, Iriagus, Cloud Strife. He's the only guy in that game with actual 2 command grabs. Guilty Gear's Potemkin, My Beloved Child. The Last Blade 2, Shigen Neo. Soul Calibur's Ashtaroth. Street Fighter Alpha 3, R. Mika. Street Fighter EX Plus, Darien Mister. 1999, Garo, Mark of the Wolves Tizok. Barika Ones, Ivan Sokolov, Patrick, and Acoustic Maru. Fatal Fury Wild Ambition Raiden, who's also Big Bear from the same series. Plasma Sword / Star Gladiators 2, Blood. Power Stones Gunrock and Galileo. Dead or Alive 2, Bayman. Bloody Roars 2's Gato the Lion. 2002, Bloody Roar, Primal Fury Stun, Ganesha. 2004, The Rumblefish Orville. 2005, Urban Range Jack Hudson, Douglas McKenzie, and Vera Ross. 2006, Virtua Fighters El Blaze. 2007, Akitsu Blitzcamp's Kane. Battle Fantasius Don Valve. Sengoku Barca X Cross Enbu Goka, at least I think so. They are all in Japanese, and they're all very quite similar. 2008, BlazBlue Calamity Triggers Iron Tiger. Faint / Unlimited Codes Luva Gengelia. 2011, Aquaplans Dream Matches Tamaki, Chaos Codes Bravo. 2012, Under Night Inbirths Waldstein. 2012, Persona 4 Arenas Kanji Tatsumi. 2014, Skullgirls Encore with Beowulf. 2018, Dragon Ball FighterZ's Android 16 and both Brolys. 2020, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. La Diva. And lastly, 2023, Mortal Kombat 1 Raiko. That was a lot more than I was honestly expecting, and I know I missed some, and I definitely butchered the pronunciations, so if you find any that I missed, please let me know. This list was very hard to make. Now the third part of what is a grappler is we got to think about it from an objective perspective. A grappler on the very, very surface level is you do a motion input by fiddling the little stick, and then you press a button, and boom, that is half their health gone. This can usually lead to the greatest of comebacks or matches that last 2 seconds. Now, some may consider this unfair, but grapplers usually, Season 4 Potemkin, have drawbacks that make them fair. For example, King's throws can be broken out of, and Zangief has less movement than other characters in Street Fighter 6. But grapplers also have this hidden state that no other character has, and that, my friend, is called Aura. This could be considered something that was not intended for the character, but it's nonetheless in the game, and I don't really want to question it, because it's a beautiful thing. You can ask any fighting game player, and when most say that after getting grabbed, we put the enemy into some crippling shock that fries their brain, that they just stand there and sit and just take another grab. Another reason why people hate grapplers is because it takes little skill or thought to do big damage, as seen with the grabs, and also just some characters have really good moves. Qualities such as these are what make a grappler in the fighting games community dies. Lastly, in my own opinion about grapplers, which is probably why you clicked on this video in the first place, is, in a few words, I would describe them as the face of the underdog community in fighting games. Only in 5 specific instances has a grappler won an EVO tourney. These examples are in 2010, when Snake Eyes won the Street Fighter 2 Turbo as Zangief, and King of Fighters tournament with Clark, but he also played Issa. This goes to show that grapplers have a lot to go against if wanting to go pro. Furthermore, grapplers have a playstyle that resolve around a simple flowchart. How can I get a grab out? That means grapplers can have a very simply entry level while still having a very high skill scene in order to do well. And that, my friend, is the beauty of it. I know people that hate grapplers think we are all baby easy, all glue eaters, and we don't really have a brain. And you know, I'm not going to deny that, because that's a part of who we are as grapplers. It's our lifestyle. But what makes a great grappler from a mediocre one is recognizing what we represent and how we do well. And grapplers represent the ones who don't back down, even if the odds are never in their favor. We are usually at the bottom of mid-tier or below. Only in rare instances are we ever top tier. Grapplers live for one moment, and they live for that one single grab, patiently staying, defending, blocking all the mix-ups, blocking all the pressure, waiting like a hawk so we can get one simple grab, or we simply just turn off our brain and just let our instincts kick in. Grapplers to me are characters that never stop trying or getting back up, even if they are at the bottom of the tier list. Grapplers are my personal favorite and one of the most unique archetypes to have such a drastic difference in styles in just one character in a fighting game. I made this video for my love for fighting games and what they mean to me and what they've done in my life. So ladies and gentlemen, when you see a grappler in the wild or in a big event, know that they may not win, but that is not the important part. You may even lose terribly, but I would assure you that grappler will inspire people to pick up the controller and play big men so they too could defy the odds and become the next big grappler, just like Snake Eyes and the others. Because why have any other top tier? Why play a single other top tier when you can grab and just simply grab again to win a match? I just want to say thank you for watching the video, guys. This took a very long time to make because Microsoft Clipchamp is not a program that wants to function. And also, recording a script, I never imagined how hard it would be. I honestly have so much sympathy for everyone else that does it. I just want to give a huge shout out to the only one that made this possible, Random the Spectre. I thank you so much for the editing. Check bro out to see bro's other work. It's really good.